it's first about, are you built, what's your foundation? Let's start there. You know, all relationships and all businesses are built on a healthy foundation. So we need to build that first. And make sure also you have a team. Like you need to have a tribe. You can be a 1-man show right now, but you're going to need, if you don't have a physical person that works underneath you, you're going to need some type of automation on your website, automation that helps you guys filter and go through and really cuts out a lot of the legwork. Back to that delegation, because it's never going to feel fun if you're overworking. It's not.
Over 50% of Black Americans are unmarried, and only 2% of Black families in America have a net worth over $1 million.
We are on our journey to not only join that 2%, but grow that 2%.
Facts. I'm Devon Travell, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, with my beautiful co-host.
I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd. You can go to our website at them4show.com, our Instagram at them4show, and our YouTube channel at Melanated Married Millionaires in the Making.
And welcome to the M4 Show. Welcome back, beautiful people, to Melanated Married Millionaires in the Making. I'm your host, Devon Travell, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game. And of course, I have my smiling, my freshly locked, fresh, head still tender queen herself. Please introduce yourself.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd. I got my shirt on
got
today.
the branded shirt today. Come on now. Come on now.
You know what I'm saying?
Little something.
Looks are fresh.
And I also got my hair relocked. And yeah, we're currently in pain. You're not hurting?
I feel like every time you're like in much more pain than I am, but I also grew up getting like braids and stuff, so this is nothing.
So you're tougher than me, what you're saying?
My scalp is.
That's what you're saying. Your
my
scalp is tougher.
Yes.
Okay, understood. So
my scalp is
flexing. All right, so if you know our story, y'all, we've had a very roller coaster experience with branding, to say the least. Right? A very, very roller coaster experience with branding, from making mistakes on completely naming something wrong, like True Health Forever, owning a board game, Black Wall Street, the board game. That was an L. We relearned, we rebranded, and then boom, we were able to really make a lot of growth and impact with Play Black Wall Street, the brand. Then we had our True Health Forever podcast, which, was good intentions, but again, the branding was just off from what we were actually speaking about and who we wanted to actually serve. So then we rebranded that to the M4 Show. So we've made some mistakes, nonetheless, with branding. And we hope that you all can learn from our mistakes.
Let us make them for you.
For sure.
We've got episodes and episodes where we definitely talk about, again, if you aren't aware, the first 100. No, we're not to 100. First 100 episodes. First 100 episodes of this podcast are titled True Health Forever. So you may have even been a little confused when you came, right?
What am I listening to?
These are the active lessons that we learned and rebranded to better align with our audience and our topic and what we're actually talking about. So yes, please learn from our mistakes.
Please learn, right? So this is going to be a great episode for you. If you currently have a podcast, a YouTube channel, a clothing line, a healthcare business, education business, if you have any type of business and you're really trying to get your brand right and scale to the next level, we brought Kymberly and Erika from Brand of Vibe, and they literally have the resources, the wisdom, and the strategies to scale your business. Sinclair, are you ready to take notes?
I'm ready.
You said yes before you knew what I was going to say, huh? I'm ready to take notes. I love talking about branding. So let's go ahead and bring up our esteemed guests, Kymberly and Erika from Brand of Vibe. Welcome to the M4 Show, y'all.
Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for having us. Can I just say that you guys are adorable? I mean, in all aspects, just like your relationship, your work ethic, the way that you guys are so cohesive. We love it. I love to see it. And thank you so much. You're making me miss my locks. But when you're talking about the pain, I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, But thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Of course, our pleasure. Thank you for making the time. So we want to get right into it. And can you talk about how y'all two even met to start this business together? Because I feel like there's a lot of intention in choosing who your business partner is going to be. You don't just start a business with anybody. So can you give a little bit of background on yourselves, but also how you met to start this business?
I think
So we actually, we started about probably 2014, 2015 working together. At that point, Kymberly had already been working in the entertainment industry for years and kind of starting her own business from the ground up. So she was able to do a lot of the marketing on her own, and she was kind of a team of one. So she brought me in at that point because I was doing promotional marketing for certain beverage companies at the time. So we both kind of had that marketing experience under our belts. And at that time, I was actually on maternity leave. So I wanted to do something from home. So we decided to join forces, and we realized immediately that we worked really great together. And we basically said, hey, we're doing this for other people. Why don't we just do it for ourselves? Like, we have great ideas. We know how to do it. So let's just start our own. And a lot of our clients were, giving us a lot of references and putting our name out there for us just because we're a really tight group. And kind of where it initially started. And then we took a break and still kept doing it for other companies. So gained a couple more years of experience. And then we learned how to do basically end-to-end marketing and thought, okay, now we're serious. Now we're ready to go. So let's do it. So we brought all of our old clients on over, and now we're kind of in the game again.
Nice. And you already jumped right into it on talking about end-to-end marketing. For people who haven't heard of what that is, can you break down what is end-to-end marketing?
So end-to-end is basically from the forefront, how your brand and image looks, whether it's on the design side and kind of going in through there on the intro side, but it goes all the way into back-end stuff. So the SEO, the meta tagging, and kind of more of that stuff where you will then bring in a coder, people that are more web dev. So it basically covers all aspects of any type of marketing that you would need assistance with.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
we help you grow. We help you grow your baby. We show you kind of the beginning to the end, the journey, the customer journey. We help you find your tribe. And I think a lot of businesses, whether we meet you at inception where you're just starting or whether you've been going for a while, I think anytime you can add some fresh eyes on to see the situation a little bit differently, we can be an asset and kind of help you do that journey. So,
Right. So our main audience are melanated married folks who either have a business or they're just trying to build wealth together, right? And a lot of them are developing their own brands, a lot of times with that 1-2 punch. Y'all two also have the 1-2 punch partnership, right? Of starting this business together. Can you give a little bit of insight on what's the highlight of entrepreneurship at this level, right? Working with your partner. And then what has been maybe one of the challenges that you've had to grow with in starting and growing this business?
I would say our highlight is kind of this job is very rewarding. So we get to see our work at play and numbers don't lie. So we get to see kind of our efforts at work when we look at certain KPIs, like, hey, we were able to increase engagements, we were able to increase page views, or any type of increase is basically our job at work, and you kind of get to see it and witness it on a day-to-day basis. I would say that's the most rewarding.
Nice.
Yeah, I think she touched on it earlier too. When we kind of like when we say take a break, when we had started our business, we actually went back to get a paid education, which we went to work for big companies and kind of learn the ins and outs of them. I think that's kind of probably been the high and the low is, not getting stagnated and working for another company because of the stability, but also keeping that vision of being an entrepreneur alive. There's a lot that comes with it. You gotta be a tough cookie. You gotta be willing to, get your feet dirty and get out there and be aggressive. And I think that if you're, sometimes it's always good to recenter and refocus the mission, not only for your business, but for the businesses that you help, and make sure that you are always staying true to your mission and what you want to do, and it doesn't become overwhelming or where you get burnt out. Right. So that's kind of been something that we've been when we restarted and really took off and kind of went in this direction, is we're really conscious of our burnout meter. We're trying to really make sure that we are in line with what our values. We only choose clients that are in line with our values. We don't work with everybody. We're not just out here trying to work with everyone. We want to make sure that the impact that we make is going to go a lot further. So I hope that answers your question. I think we both hit a few things on the head.
No, that was solid. That was solid. Queen, I know there's questions in my head. I'm trying not to just go. Do you
I have a thought.
Go ahead.
One, I think what you said is really important about the importance of stopping and realigning and reevaluating, which we've done several times. One of them being what we just talked about before we added y'all to this was, the point where we stopped at episode 100, while we'd gone 100 episodes in, and we basically stopped and is this working? Does our brand match what we're doing? Are we having the impact we want? And we were Brad, we just have a really honest conversation. I don't think it's working. I don't think it's working. What do we need to shift? How can we make this better? So I definitely wanted to just touch on the fact that that's really important. I think for everybody to be doing at least once a year, just to see what are you still aligned with your goals, with your customer base, with your whatever you're trying to do as a business. But I also wanted to take a quick step back for those who we're talking about branding. And I think for me, when I was first, I didn't fully understand what branding was until we started the business and I was in the thick of it. I don't know that I understood the difference between a brand and a business. So I wanted to know, what is from y'all's perspective, what's the difference between building a brand versus building a business?
Well, one of the key indicators would be kind of the voice or the messaging that you're putting forth, and then that brand identity. Really, what do you look like online? What does your tribe look like? What is the people that you're servicing? It's that identity. That's your brand. The business is kind of the motion of the ocean. That is what's keeping it afloat. That is what is almost a recipient of the brand being out there. So once you build that brand, then that brand can then funnel into the business and build, and because you're building your audience, your presence, right? I think one of the big things, if you're kind of thinking about how do I start this or whatever, it's really just identifying what is it that you want people to see you as or be you as, right? So I like to always tell people people follow people, they don't follow profiles. So it's really big on making sure that as a business owner, your core identity is within your brand, and it's authentic and it's genuine. And that's when I've always seen things really, really slope up, when you're authentic to yourself, because that's all you can really be is yourself, right? Yeah. And I know you probably have a little bit more of a clear definition of the brand to business.
Yeah, that's good.
Was that a passover to Erika?
That was a passover. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I was going to say a easy way to think about it is more your business is the industry you're serving. So if you're trying to fill out an application online, which drop-down menu are you going to select? That's the business you're in. But your brand is what's going to set you apart from all of the other people that are providing the exact same service. That's your voice, and it speaks to you, and it's what is setting us apart from all of the others. And that's where kind of we come in to help people find that. A lot of times they have a passion, but they don't really know how to put it out or how to have it stand on its own and be the business's staple, so to speak.
Yeah. And are there particular questions or activities y'all have for your clients to help them discover what that passion or what that alignment might be?
Yeah. So one of the first exercises that we like to take all of our clients through is the buyer persona journey. So who are we talking to? Is there multiple customers that you're speaking to? What are the demographics looking like? And then taking note of the different characteristics that those type of people do, whether it's online, what are they listening to? What platforms are they using? Whether it's Google versus a TikTok or an Instagram, kind of looking at those characteristics. Who are we talking to? And making sure that your brand and messaging is hitting those exact points. So we are speaking to that certain individual. And a lot of times our clients know who they're talking to. And a lot of times we allow them to go through the process and we discover multiple personas, because not always are you going to speak to just one person, depending on what you offer. So taking our clients through that buyer persona journey really helps us fine tune their messaging and make sure that we're speaking to those people.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's super important. I think the biggest mistakes that a lot of folks make that I see, and even that I made when I was first launching one of our businesses, is like, you want to serve everybody. Like all my business is for everybody, but really you have to get specific, like you said, on like who is actually your target person. So hopefully I didn't take your answer, but I'm wondering what, in your experience with working with so many businesses and brands, what's a common mistake that you see people make or businesses make when they're building their brand?
Not starting. Getting too caught up in not wanting to do things. Like, it's so hard sometimes to push people into moving. Like, come on, like, it's a lot of trial and error. You guys have, you guys opened up with that. I don't call them losses, I call them lessons. But if you're unable to start, if you're too afraid to get it going, we're gonna hit a few roadblocks there. So it's really about allowing yourself to fail or to kind of not get it, but eventually get it right. So that would be kind of, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yep. And I think a lot of people are afraid to start without having, I guess, like a solid foundation to start off with. And I think a logo is like people's first step. Let me just create a logo. And as soon as I have a logo, then I can build this brand. Then I can start recording the podcast. Then I can start posting the pictures. Is a logo a good first step? First off, do you think a logo is a good first step in defining the brand? And kind of like a secondary question, how important is a logo in the entire brand identity of a company?
I mean, I would say that it's a good piece to have something, but you're probably going to end up changing it anyways. So many big companies, the little companies go through it. So it's not something that I would say would stop me from starting. I've started businesses or helped people start businesses where they've just used kind of like we put up, just kind of a colorway with the text and whatever, and we got it moving. Momentum is the key to successfully growing a business. Catching momentum. Give yourself small wins to start from. Wake up, and today I'm going to do this, this, and that. But make them be very attainable so that you get in the motion of winning. And you're consistently moving up, and you don't because once we take an L, sometimes it kind of slows us down, and we, get in our head, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is not going to work. It's not going to work. No, you need to always wake up and be winning every day. So just kind of keeping things in motion and continuous is really the key to success. If a logo is a key piece, but also that personality I'm talking about, that identity, that messaging, that is the most important thing. If you could have a smooth logo, but your messaging is all over the place. You're selling we sell shoes, but we also sell, pita pockets. I don't know, but like, it's like you need to be sorry.
Shoes and pita pockets. So we're on to something.
Right.
But you're just like you're kind of like, or you're posting stuff that has nothing to do with your core or with your audience, that you're offending people and you're going so it's just like, if your messaging is not there, it doesn't matter if you have a nice logo, a nice website, a nice anything, you are gonna, it's not gonna move. It has to be authentic, it has to be true to you, and it has to be clear.
Nice. Love it. So I want to, in case you're just tuning in, we have Kymberly and Erika here from Brand of Vibe. If you need support in taking your business to the next level and scaling your brand, make sure y'all tap into Brand of Vibe. Now I know y'all have some specific things that y'all do for companies, or that you do for businesses. Can you talk a little bit about some of the services that y'all offer to folks if they are looking for support? What particular problem can you help them solve?
So we do have experience with all of the end-to-end marketing that we started discussing at the beginning. So even we had to recenter. So initially we started offering all of the services just because we have the experience doing it. And we slowly shifted to being more of a consultant for businesses, because we try to target small businesses that may or may not be new, but they are at the beginning stages. So these are people's babies that we've noticed that a lot of owners don't quite want to just let go, and they're not quite ready to hire a marketing team. So
no, we're not.
we want to kind of show you how to do each of the steps, and kind of more hand holding, but still allowing them to be a part of their business and learn all of the different steps of what it takes to do marketing. But we can basically assist with all levels, from design to web dev. But now we're more subcontracting. So we have a whole team behind us that's assisting us with doing all of the projects. But we're more of consulting for all of these brands. So depending on what the needs are, then we'll cater our packages depending on the client's needs.
Nice.
We found that we can be a little bit more effective if we're able to help you build within your team rather than us being your team, because we want to keep our momentum and shifting up, and also be able to touch more businesses as well. And so with us, knowing how to do the work is important because we know how to hire the right people. But we don't technically do a lot of the work anymore. We've learned to delegate. So
yeah.
That is the key to scaling, isn't it? Delegation, writing down those standard operating procedures, and figuring out how do I multiply myself, my brand, and my mindset so other people can do that work and impact. Queen, anything you would like to add before we take a short break?
I think it's just like the delegation piece, I think, is important. Going back to what you were saying about being conscious about like the burnout. I think if we as business owners take on everything, then that's what leads to the burnout really quick. So I think the delegation is a huge part of just being an entrepreneur and figuring out like, okay, what tasks are critical for me to be doing, and what is a good idea for me to be delegating to someone else, so that, these critical items can get like more of the strategic things, right, that really need my attention can get done. But the day-to-day, like more operational things that don't necessarily need to be me can get delegated. So I think that's a huge, I think, point that every entrepreneur, every business owner at some point makes. So I just wanted to touch on that.
Yes, ma'am. So I want to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to have y'all walk us through the steps to really building out or maybe auditing a brand, right? If there's a family out there who they're very excited to get their brand off the ground, but they're just a little nervous about the steps and what to do, we'd love for y'all to walk them through this 5-7 step process on how they can go from zero to hero in their business. Can we do that?
Sure.
We can. Come on. All right, I'm excited. Come on. All right, we're gonna take this quick break, and when we get back, we'll go through the steps. See y'all soon.
Perfect.
Look, we're gonna get right back into the amazing podcast. But if you didn't know, in 2017, we created Black Wall Street, the board game, because we thought more families needed to know about the history of Tulsa Black Wall Street. More families needed to know about the legacy of Black excellence left behind of Tulsa Black Wall Street, that we can own a Madam C.J. Walker Beauty Salon. We can have a Booker T. Washington High School. We can have an Uncle Steve's Barbecue. We can have a Renaissance man like Simon Berry, who had his own taxi service and bus service that got bought out by the city of Tulsa. We have brilliance in our DNA, and we wanted to make sure that your family can play a game that teaches them about this brilliance. So we have Black Wall Street, the board game, right here. We had the first edition available in 2017. That got sold out. We're on the second edition right now, or you can get the beautiful masterpiece version of the game as well. It's up to you. Head to playblackwallstreet.com and get yourself Black Wall Street, the board game, to empower you, your family, and generations to come. Playblackwallstreet.com. Let's get back to the episode.
All right, we are back. So now, can you please tell us, like, what are some of the tangible steps that that a family brand, let's say, can take to go from like $0 to, let's go 6 figures, $100,000? Like, what are the tangible steps?
That is definitely the $1 million question. We can go anywhere with this answer. It ultimately boils down to what are the client's goals. I know we all want to make the most money, but we definitely look into what are the resources that we have available and identifying the stage that this client is in. So I think the first step will definitely be to identify your audience. Once we know who you're speaking to or who we're speaking to, then we go and take a look at their messaging, whether that's on a social media platform, whether it's on their website, and we literally tackle every single, we call it copy. So copy is any text that's on your website. And we make sure that there's certain keywords that are speaking to that audience. So that's where the search engine optimization comes in. We're making sure that when someone searches for your certain service, they're somehow landing on your website. And then we go into the strategy of how do we get more traffic to your website. Some examples of strategy could be the keywords. How many ads are you running? Where in a Google search page are you landing? Are you in the top 30 pages of Google? Are you closer to page 200? Then that's how we identify how much work we need to put into their current messaging and all of the keywords that are on their website and pages. That's a whole, but that's, I think, the best place to first start.
Nice.
Yeah. Definitely. Just to piggyback off of what he's saying is that identity, that brand building, and also your willingness. Like, I'm really big on like where your head at, you know, like, are you going to be cool with what we bring in? Like, if you start getting a bunch of customers, like, what is your systems? Like, how are you going to service these people? Are you ready for this? Are you built for this yet? You know, because we are going to bring eyeballs, but you have to have a structural system set in play to be able to convert these eyeballs, right? So what he's saying is actually really pivotal, and she's really core in helping people with their operations and like helping them, like, because I remember we worked with a client before, and it was like, bro, when people get on your site and do this, where are they going? This is in your pictures and she was just like, I don't know, Kimmy, like, I don't know if we can do like this one because she's like, even if we bring all these people here, like, look what they have to see. And like, it's so, and I'm not, you know, that's no dig on nobody, but it makes sense because like there's so many key indicators that you need to solve first before we can be at this $1 million point, right? So it's first about, are you built? What's your foundation? Let's start there. You know, all relationships and all businesses are built on a healthy foundation. So we need to build that first. And make sure also you have a team. Like you need to have a tribe. You can be a 1-man show right now, but you're going to need, if you don't have a physical person that works underneath you, you're going to need some type of automation on your website, automation that helps you guys filter and go through and really cuts out a lot of the legwork. Back to that delegation, because it's never going to feel fun if you're overworking. It's not. You know, it always, business has to be that passion. It gets hard, but even when it's hard, you like it, right? Because you're like, ooh, yeah, I got through that. Like, you know, we had to figure that out, and we did. That feels good. But this whole like overworking yourself or feeling like that's the part of the entrepreneurship, it's not. It's about making the impact and moving and keeping that momentum. So I know she has a few more keys for you too. I know those were just the first few.
Oh, first few. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I got the notepad ready.
He's actively taking notes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We do like to set clear expectations with our clients also, because again, these are their babies and they want to see sales, they want to see numbers, they want to see revenue, but we're very clear that it's a process. At minimum, I would say 3 months for us to get to a good place where we can start showing you really positive results and actual sales coming in. So it's going to be a slow run at the beginning, but we're setting you up for success. And I think clients need to be very much aware that this is an investment. So a lot of people try to do a lot of things on their own just because of budgeting reasons or, you know, it's best to keep everything in-house and outsourcing, but it's how you come off as a brand to other people. And it's clear as day when you take on a client who has a very well-built website, the user experience is straightforward, and they're obviously going to yield more sales compared to someone who kind of rushed and tried to do their website on a Shopify or something like that. So we really like to set that clear expectation of we're setting you up to where other visitors come in, they're going to have a great experience and want to stay as a loyal customer to them. So we like to be very clear on that kind of 3-month buffer before seeing results. So extending your marketing is definitely something that you need to invest in for a couple of months. It's not going to be an immediate result.
Right.
You mean like we can't like invest in a package and get like 100,000 sales tomorrow?
You might if you listen to everything we say, but I it's the funniest thing is we'll get into a relationship and then it's like, okay, cool, like you're gonna do this and that, and they're like, well, I don't, but I still want to post this and I still want to, I like the way my logo looks like here and like with these boxes and these things, and we'd be like, all right, cool. We're never going to try and press it on, but we are going to make you aware of the impact maybe certain things that you're holding on to may impact your sales or may impact your user experience, may impact your brand. But it's really just about like how fast do you want to move, because we can get it popping. We can get it popping if we want it to pop. You know what I mean?
Come on, that should be the company's slogan. We can get it popping.
We can get it popping. If you're ready to move and because like sometimes we'll be waiting for creative files from you guys. Like, okay, give me some of the pictures of your products. Oh, I gotta go call so and so, and or passwords. It's like little things, and then so it's like it's just about like what level are you at when we meet you, and that's why we're really piggybacking on that. Having to restructure so that we're able to service clients that are also ready for us. So that's key.
So the steps that I have written down so far, I believe, identify your audience. 1, review the copy and the wording behind the branding and the website. 2, number 3 is how do we get more traffic to your website? How do we get more eyeballs on your content? Number 4 is what is the actual system? So once customers get there, what are they doing? How are they operating? What automation? How are you converting them? And then number 5 is reviewing the expectations of the long-term timeline, investing in your marketing strategy.
Nice. You laid that out better than me.
Does that sound accurate?
That sounds accurate.
All right.
Good. Yeah. And then execution. Execution would be the end. So you have the expectations and execution. I think to really go back to the end to end, that's kind of, you do it in segments. So, maybe the first month we work with you, we're just trying to lay down your foundation, right? The second month, we are helping you with your ad spend and helping you budget around and really finding that lookalike audience that we're looking for. We're studying your competitors. We're helping you study your competitors because we're big on the Burger King method, which, if you look, every time you see a McDonald's, you see a Burger King, so basically we're watching who you want to be like. You're always going to have your own swag, your own thing, but you need to be very clear on some of the mistakes your competitors make and what they're doing right so that you can piggyback off them. There's no need to make their same mistakes, and you need to see what their audience looks like and kind of like how we can, so always watch people that are doing something that you want to do and see what you can take from that to cut out the time.
So your Burger King reference reminded me of a book that I read and I just got off the shelf. It's the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. There's another one, the 22 Immutable Laws of Branding. And it says something along the lines of there's always going to be a number one, right? And you can be basically copying what they do or put yourself as a polar opposite of what they do. But you want to make sure that whenever someone thinks about the number one, because you're the polar opposite, they also think of you. So you get both market shares, right? So if you're thinking about Android, automatically you're going to think about another type of phone system, right? You're going to think about Apple, you're going to think about iOS. If you're thinking about Microsoft, you're automatically going to think about possibly another company, right? So is there, I say all that to say I'm a book nerd, so I want to see if there's
I got one for you. I got one for you too.
I need the books. So what branding books would y'all recommend? 1, me read, and then 2, any other branding nerds out there read?
I'm just going to give you a book that is going to help you just within business in Central, and it's going to be Rocket Fuel, which allows you guys to identify which one of you is the visionary and which one of you is the integrator. So basically the visionary, they got the ideas, they get excited, but sometimes they can't always see like how to put the idea in motion, The integrator knows how to do that. They don't always have to, they don't always have to have the big idea, but they'll listen to the visionary go on and on and on, and they'll be like, okay, cool. And that's why me and Erika work so well together, because I could be a little crazy with like, what do I want to do? But she'll be like, all right, cool, but like, we're gonna do it like this, and then we'll get there. Like, we'll both see where we want to go, but she'll show me how to get there in a more maybe fundamental way. So I think that if you could read that book, it's called Rocket Fuel. I think it'll really help you identifying, which one of you is which in each business, especially if you guys deal with a lot of couples and, whose role is you, and then you don't start stepping on each other's toes. You let that person do what they're good at, and then, you do what you're good at.
That's good. Funny enough, Rocket Fuel has been in the cart for a while. I just haven't bought it yet. So now it's going to get purchased. This is the sign. This is the sign. Thank you, Kymberly. I appreciate it.
No worries.
Okay. So we had 2 more quick questions for y'all, but I know you all have other things planned as well. Y'all let me know how much time we have. We're flexible. Good. Okay. So we got two last questions for you. One is our Ask Declare segment, and this is where you take a little bit of a break from the spotlight on you all, and you get to ask us a question on our business journey, on the relationship, or if you didn't know, she's a health nerd, and you can ask her a health question, and she will have fun answering it. So passing it off to y'all for our Ask Declare segment. Hit us with a question.
I would like to ask, at what point during your 100 episode journey did you realize, is this working? And what made you guys pass that? What outcomes were you expecting that you weren't necessarily witnessing? And is that true to your messaging today?
Great question. So I think the first time that we started to question the alignment of the brand was probably still took like 50 episodes in before we were like, okay, we're talking about money for most of these, right? We're talking about business, talking about entrepreneurship for a lot of these. Is True Health Forever still in alignment with what we're talking about? And at that point, we were like, you know what? It's still in alignment. We have this broader vision. They don't know health and wealth. They go hand in hand together.
They don't know.
They don't know yet. They're going to listen to our podcast, and they're going to come up with a revelation that, your health is an essential part of your wealth and your well-being. So that was episode 50. And then we were still looking at, the subscribers. The subscribers weren't moving too much. We were looking at our monthly listens. They weren't budging too much. And then we were still looking at our guests, and the guests that we were kind of the most here's what I think it happened for me, Sinclair, and you let me know yours. But we were a health podcast, and we had a pretty big name health person come on, JJ Virgin, right? Thank you, JJ, and the whole team for coming on. That was, I think, a huge guest for us as a health podcast. So to do that, and then we really didn't see the needle move too much after that. We didn't see that video get any more views than the other wealth-centered videos on our YouTube, which said to me that our audience probably isn't a health audience. So those are some of the things for me. And then we finally got to episode 100, where we were fully reevaluating things. And then it was just, you know what? It's time for a change. Queen?
I think for me, I always teeter between like asking myself the question of like, do we just need to keep going? Is it just persistence? Is it just that we haven't been doing this long enough to see, the growth for the podcast, or is something not aligning? And I feel like getting to 50 episodes was like, okay, that's still like, all right, there's people out there with 700 episodes. So was that still like getting our feet wet? We were like, okay, we're getting just the idea of podcasting down and our dynamic. But yeah, we were starting to question at that point. I think once we got to 100 episodes, it's like, okay, no, we should be seeing some growth by now. Like that's when I started to like answer my own question of like, I don't think this is you don't have enough episodes or you're not established enough thing. I think we're just not aligned with what we think we're talking about and the impact we want to make. Like there's something not aligning there. So yeah, I think that was, and I think even like when we were trying to explain, like when people would ask like about our podcast and I'm explaining it, I felt like I even started like
you're
to
missing.
struggle with like, yeah, it's like this, but it's also this, like
you know.
and it's like it should not be that
Watch it.
hard to explain what the podcast is about. Like you should be able to explain it in like one line. And I just feel like it was not aligning, and so that was a real big wake up call for us of like, okay, we gotta fix that. We either need to talk more about health, or we need to change the name of our podcast and the brand of our podcast so that it aligns with what we actually talk about.
Right.
Okay.
It is. Great question.
Yeah, it was a really good question.
Kymberly, you seem like you had something on your mind.
Yeah, I just want to commend you guys on your tenacity. Like the fact that you guys are still in motion and you guys keep it motion, even, and it's your self-awareness. It's the idea of always going back and saying, okay, and really your ability to kind of identify like when you may have, when things aren't working or when you made a wrong move, but still keep going. That is such an admirable trait in business, and that's how I know you guys are going to be very successful. If I can make any recommendation, it would be that just to make sure the people that you have on are also pushing the podcast forward too. They are continuing the vision, and that's in their alignment. I completely can relate to when you start describing yourself, because you guys have a lot of interest and a lot of things that you want to do, right? And not being able to kind of pinpoint it, and it's okay for it to be all of those things. It's just when you need to kind of find that umbrella thing that really puts you guys in an all compass. Like maybe it's just, Devon and Sinclair, just whatever we like. It's our favorite things. It is. And that's what it is. It's just there's a place in LA, a vegan place. It's called, the Shit I Eat. And sorry, again, we can blur that out. I apologize. But the stuff I eat, sorry, it's called the stuff I eat. And it's just like basically just all encompasses what your it's just everything, And so I just wanted to say that because I really love how you guys go through your, how you guys analyze yourselves. Just don't be hard on yourselves either. You have some grace. You guys are killing it.
You rub my back like
don't be so hard on us, Sinclair.
You guys are kissing me before this started, and I was sitting there like, oh, okay, like that's what I want to see. That's what I want to be a part of. So I think one thing I want to ask you too is what is one of your most pivotal, highest moments of accomplishment that you guys had, and what did that feel like? And then I also want to counter too with what was one of your lowest moments that you guys thought we were almost giving up, and how did you get out of it?
Wow. Okay.
How'd you keep going?
So. Now, do you want us to give our individual answers, or should we stare into each other's eyes and see if we can find a collective answer?
I like both of those options. All of those options
She said both. I want it all.
Seeing love. I love it. I love it. So,
so I think our one of my highest moments and lowest moments are very connected. So I think our possible lowest moment was when our Kickstarter completely flopped, completely failed. Obviously my fault, Kymberly. If you didn't know, it failed because I set the goal way too high, and she was like, Devon, I think that's too high. Let's be realistic and let's put it down to like a 5,000. I was like, no, let's dream big. Let's knock it out the park. We want 28,000.
Visionary.
Yeah, that's me. I'm a read rocket fuel though.
So
just keep going, right? So long story short, our Kickstarter completely failed, so we didn't get any of the initial funds. It all got sent back to the backers, and I was really sitting there for maybe a week just thinking, wow, like we thought we had a great idea with Black Wall Street, the board game. We thought the community would love it and get great value. We thought they would back it. People didn't back it. Is this a good idea? Like, are we really meant to be entrepreneurs? So take that moment, fast forward 4 years. We created the first edition of the game. We created the second edition of the game. We created a masterpiece edition of the game. So we're 3 iterations in 4 years later, and we go to Tulsa's Black Wall Street. And Kymberly and Erika, we met in person some of the last living survivors of Tulsa's Black Wall Street massacre. And we handed them our game. They opened up the game, held it in their hands. And I'll never forget, Mama Fletcher was just like, it's so beautiful. Like she sat there, opened up our game. And this is a game that we took probably a year, maybe a year and a half to develop. We got 15 different art pieces made specifically for this game. And to have this young woman standing there, she was sitting right there just saying like, this is so beautiful. Thank you for making this for me and my people. I think was one of the highest points so far in my entrepreneurship career.
Yeah. I think for me, another one would be the lit pitch competition.
That was good too.
Because that is a backstory on that is we have a school program where we basically take students from identifying a problem to creating a business idea that solves that problem. And so we've launched this with schools in LA, and we had this vision. Let me clarify. He had the vision that he then brought to me, and I integrated. You know, you get the rhythm here.
I love that.
But he was like, let's actually have this be a competition. So at the end, right, the students can compete and they come up, they give their business pitches, and we come up with a winner. And then he's even like, let's have them on the spot decide, like, do they want $1,000 experience or $100 cash? And I'm like, oh wow, like this is a big vision, like having all the schools in one place, like this is going to be a lot. But we ended up making it happen. Not the first time we did the program, but the second time we ran the program, we were able to get three schools in the building, like, not filling up a room, but pretty close to filling up this room. Yep. And like they were engaged, like they were having fun. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to see not only the students get up on stage and give their, like, really take it seriously, give their really great business pitch ideas, right? This is not something that they got graded for. This is just something that they took hold of and really owned. So to see that happening, to see the teachers there, to see them, we had a little dance competition, right? Everybody was getting lit. But just to see that, like, they were literally there enjoying something that just came from our heads that we, brought to life. We had our mentors there, people that we employ, they're having a good time. So it was just a very surreal moment to like look around and be like, wow, like, especially for me, because I am like you said, the integrator, the behind the scenes, like more operations, payroll, insurance stuff. I don't get to go to the classrooms a lot. So to see, like, that was my first time to actually see, like, wow, like we're doing something here. Like we're actually making a difference. Like these students are here and loving it and really just grabbing hold to this program and our brand. And so, yeah, that would probably be another like high for me, specifically just being able to see the impact in person.
Nice. I see you.
Yeah, I like that. Y'all gonna keep doing that one. That was that is.
We got one too.
Oh,
light work. See, when you guys get your wheels going together, how the greatness that happens when you when the integrator and the visionary are on sync. It's like, because you guys are just climbing together, and it's like, and then coming together to see it like that is so beautiful. Even the way you guys told the story, that I could just feel it. So like, that's dope. Thank you for sharing that.
Now, something that we don't agree on is this next question I'm going to ask you. Something that we don't agree on. I'm not going to say which side I'm on or which side she's on, but I do want to ask this question to both of you all. Do you believe every family should have a business? Think about that.
I don't know. Has the soul work been done? Because I think that's really core. Like a lot of the work that needs to be done, you can have like these generational curses within your family. I'm going to be real with you. There's some dreams you can't share with all of your family. And I don't know if you're doing an all encompass, like a bigger spotter of like your cousins and your, but if you have to understand that we're all coming from different backgrounds and different things. So like we have to protect our dream. And it's not that those people aren't ready for that season, but their season is not right now. For you to get to where you need to go, you might not be able to be around people that have seen you a certain way, because you're going this way. And then you can bring them in. So I don't know if the answer is yes or no. I just know that there's got to have to be a lot of shadow work done, a lot of internal work done before you can employ your family. You have to have a mutual respect. And all of that needs to be clear before you can involve your family, I think, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
That was good. That was good. So we got a yes/no. Okay.
Maybe. I got C.
Maybe if.
Erika, you gonna break this tie?
I'm kind of 50-50 on that one also, because I feel when you have a family company, it brings a lot of entitlement, and we don't want to raise our kids or, family members to be lazy. Like we want to show them what it's like to go through the trenches and starting something from scratch. And if they kind of have something that they could fall back on, I feel you're kind of stopping them from reaching their full potential. But then on the other side of that, we are taking care of everyone and we're feeding our whole family. And, we can each come individually and grow this business as a family. So there's kind of two sides to that, but we all know that even, they always say never do business with family, but that comes with friends and colleagues as well. So it definitely has to do with kind of what Kymberly said is, has the work already been done and what does the relationship look like, and kind of identifying, key people in your family that will benefit and others that won't. But that's just a harsh reality that we have to kind of face. So that's not a straight answer, but I'm also 50-50.
That towards the end, it sounded like a yes, but be intentional about which family members you let into the business, not just have it like everyone at the family reunion has a position, but it's like, you know what? There might be a few key members that you can start a brand or a company with.
So out of curiosity, who do you think has which answer?
Think about it.
I think that Devon believes in family being a key into it. And I think that you have probably learned a little bit that, it's not for everybody. I don't know.
You're good.
I'm
insightful, Kymberly. Yes. Insightful.
Spot on. No, insightful.
I could tell. And in a good way, but that's your discernment there. Like she's got I think that, both of you guys coming from a place of love, but I think that one has to watch the other one's back. Erika has to watch my back all the time. Because I will love on everybody and she'll be like, Kymberly, come on. Like, we're not going to do that. Like, we're not going to give them all the keys. And then, let's get an invoice or something, but I just stand very, somebody has to be the level-headed one that's like, hey, slow down. But I do want to say this. If you take out the family, right, just think about who brights your light. Those are the people that you surround yourself with. When you are building a business, you need people that are like, no, they're checking you, they're helping you, they're encouraging you, they're giving you that emotional fuel that you need to go to keep going. And anybody who makes you feel low, you can't have them around right now. Not everybody can go. Not everybody can go. So you need to make sure the people around you are building you. And then once you're at a place where, none of that stuff, those triggers and stuff don't affect you, then you can start, letting like cousin someone, here, this is what I'm doing. And you can try and speak into them. And if they take it, cool. And they can come with you. And if they don't, you got to be at peace with allowing everybody to find their own way to their own journey. So.
Nice. Great words of wisdom right there, y'all. If you didn't know, we have Kymberly and Erika from Brand of Vibe. If you're looking to scale your business, you can go to Brand of Vibe. That's BrandAvibe.com. Brandofvibe.com to start scaling your business today. So y'all already been dropping nuggets all throughout, wisdom all throughout. But as we end today's podcast, wanted to give y'all one more opportunity to give folks a word of wisdom if they are on the edge and they're thinking about starting that brand, or maybe they just started, but it's been a year, it's been 2 years. They're getting a little bit frustrated because they're not seeing the growth that they thought they were going to see. Can each of y'all please give a word of wisdom for our listeners?
Definitely keep going and recenter. If you're feeling that it's not bringing the traction that you envisioned, really honing into what it is that is preventing that, and not just be discouraged, because there's a solution to any of these problems. Like, the marketing world is endless. There's so many options and technology is constantly changing. So just because it's not working right now does not mean it won't work in the near future. You just need to make sure you're accessing the right resources and targeting the correct problem.
Nice.
My one word is start. Just start. Get it going. Let's go. Get it in motion. Find people that help you with that motion. Find people that want to treat, find your tribe. And people that are really into it with you, they'll start and they'll grow with you, without that monetary being an issue, because they believe in the same thing that you do. So just get it started. Be okay with making mistakes. Give yourself grace, constantly come together and talk about it like you guys do. Like, keep, okay, cool, we did it, cool, and move forward. And that's just life, and know that everything has to happen the way it did to get to where you have to go. Yeah, it's already written. The story's written. Read The Alchemist. That is the book I will give anybody to read. I read it once a year. It's already written. You were supposed to go through that to know what that feels like or to know how to live without it. And that's just period how it has to go. So just start. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
And if you did know, they get it popping. Was that the quote?
We get it popping.
We can get it popping. All right.
We got
Erika,
the vibes.
we got the vibes. Erika, Kymberly, we appreciate y'all coming on, dropping the wisdom. And if y'all are listening, y'all are watching, and you want a tribe, you want a supportive community of folks that are also on the same journey you are and building their brand, building wealth, make sure y'all stay tapped into the show. Queen, where can they go to stay tapped into the podcast?
You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Melanated Married Millionaires in the Making. Follow us on Instagram at the M4 Show and hit us up at our website at the m4show.com.
Boom. Go to the m4show.com right now and subscribe to the podcast. We appreciate you. Queen, any updates, any announcements before we get on out of here?
I alluded to our program earlier, our financial literacy program. So we've got a 10-week financial literacy program where we are walking middle school, high school, and newly elementary school students basically through how to build their own business that solves a specific problem that they've identified in their community. So if that sounds like a program you want to see at a school near you, hit us up at info@playblackwallstreet.com and let's talk about how we can support your scholars.
There it is. All right. So again, brandthevibe.com, change your life. The m4show.com, change your life. We appreciate you, Kymberly and Erika. Again, my name is Devon Travell, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, co-host of the Melanated Married Millionaires in the Making show.
And I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd.
Make sure y'all secure the marriage. Make sure y'all secure the love. And of course, make sure y'all secure the bag.
Yes.
Peace. Thank you for supporting the M4 Show and our mission to increase the wealth of Black families.
If you received any value from this episode, any value at all, any, do us a favor and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube and Apple, Spotify, anything, all of them, all of them, wherever you're listening, go ahead and like and subscribe.
And after you like and subscribe, make sure you send this episode to at least one family that you really want to see win. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.